on that topic, first and foremost, I want to say the phrase defund the police is fucking stupid. And the left always comes up with the stupidest, idiotic catchphrases in the world. They're T.I. Polar on the left.
No, I think
defund the police is a terrible, terrible catchphrase. And I want to ask you, like, because I know you're a little bit anti-authority in that way. Wouldn't you see it as better if we had more of like a community service type responder and keep the police for more serious business?
Yeah, no, I hate the police, and I would love to, under any other circumstances, I would love to defund them and get rid of the motherfuckers and get rid of the war on drugs. But
because defund doesn't really mean defund; it just means change those funds to community service responders.
It does mostly mean defund in a lot of large ways, though. If you take it to the end, they really do mean defund much of the time. But
I'm sure a lot of them do, and I don't agree with them.
The problem with the community-based idea is that it really then, when you bring mental health into law enforcement, when you bring a social worker into court like that, now you have a very scary reality where they'll just tell you you're insane if they decide you're insane. You got a social worker determining your fate, and since it's medical care that's court ordered, there is no end to it. There is no sentencing day where it's like, you know what, if I get popped with this drugs, at least I know I'll be out in 5 to 10. It's just like you're in until you're cured.
Well, I would imagine in this hypothetical future we're talking about, the war on drugs is over.
Why would you imagine that? They have no Defund the Police people have proposed ending the war on drugs. They just want to swap out psychiatrists and social workers for.
Well, I think that's something that we all overlap on, except for like the the serious Jesus folk. I think everybody except
that you should assume that, because they have not said that at all. I think you're wrong, and I would not just kind of assume that those are lumped together because it makes sense. I think they're I see why you would think that, but I think it's
I can't elaborate, but I just had a brain fart.
Sorry.
I need you to remind me.
Okay, so you were saying that you think everybody can agree drugs should be treated different. The war on drugs.
No, not everybody, but except for like evangelicals. No, that's basically it. I think.
And the people who profit off it, the government, the prison industry.
Well, yeah, but that we just had prison reform. I think that was the only bipartisan thing they got done was prison reform. But in my perfect world, and I think in yours as well, there isn't a war on drugs because, like you said, if you're not hurting somebody, then what's the problem? There shouldn't be laws against hurting yourself unless it's affecting other people, right? I mean,
well, no, you can't do that because everything affects people in ways that you can't predict or know about. I think that once you do that,
but is it force? Like in that case, is that force, or am I as the unstable person exerting force on somebody else if I'm hurting myself?
No, yeah, and I would say that absolutely no, you're not. It may hurt other people indirectly, but I mean, if you commit suicide, it's for sure going to hurt your family. But that is still you making a decision for yourself about yourself.
Yeah,
and that's a poor example because I think suicide is the most selfish thing anyone can do. But
I can assure you, and I know they're not talking about it because it's there's so many other things they're talking about. I can assure you, the war on drugs is a very high priority. Ending the war on drugs is a very high priority in the minds of people on the left. You just don't hear it in the same ways.
I promise you it's not, because I was looking for it. I was looking for any defund the police movements to have any of these things. They have lists and lists.
Well, that is kind of, if we defund the police, then they can't enforce the drug laws, right? And then they by default they fall away.
You're helping make connections in your mind that don't exist. I'm telling you, these connections don't exist, and what is the reason for that? I think it's intentional.
Well, I guess we need to. Why are you so sure? But it's kind of like the same thing. You're not hearing that's what they're saying.
I've looked for it. On their websites, on their list of demands. You know, each little movement has listed demands that they make to the mayor of the city. Like I've looked, it's not there. They'll have demands 30 items long. Everything from expanded unemployment coverage to teachers get blowjobs every Sunday, and they never mentioned the war on drugs ending.
Okay, well, I'm at feeltheburn.org. Bernie Sanders on drug policy. Bernie Sanders sees the war on drugs as a costly, destructive, and ineffective policy. Current drug laws have not worked.
I wasn't really talking about Bernie so much. Yeah, Bernie did want to end the war on drugs, but I wasn't really referring to him since he was not a relevant person this last go around. Or, you know, I was talking more about the defund the police crowd. They're the ones. Yeah, the left does want to end the war on drugs, or at least they say they do.
Yeah, I assure you, pretty much everybody does, except
but
for
the defund the police movement specifically does not include it, and I don't at all for a second believe that that's accidental. I think the defund the police movement is a Trojan horse, and they want more police in fucking police state. They're just going about it in a slick way.
So maybe you're thinking there's some type of infiltration into the leftist groups.
Oh, there absolutely is. That's not even hidden. The leftist groups are Marxist. That's not speculation. It is open.
Bitch, I'm back and I'm better. Coming harder than y'all. Only a few as dope as me, don't know many artists that are. Come take a spot in your property. Fuck a loss in the charge. Ran through the music biz like a bull inside of a pottery barn. Gotta be on, cause these robbers will shoot your legs off. Now you can't run away, gotta lay